Named Sandy Losemann. At one point it was Sandy Holland, and then Sandy Holland Losemann. And I've sung in choral arts on and off probably for about the last 30 years. I even worked for choral arts for a period of time in the office. And that was back in, I guess, like kind of the late 80s. So I was on that end of it. So I've been a part of choral arts for a good long time.
My name is Antonio Abreu. I'm actually a baritone, although most of the time I end up doing bass voices. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, where actually I started in children's choir ever since I was about 6 years old, and from then on, except for about maybe 3 years, 4 years while I was in teenage years, I stopped singing, but from then on, I mostly have been singing the entirety of my life, which is right now over 30 years of singing, active singing.
My name is Norah Worthington, and I am the resident costumer at the Baltimore School for the Arts, and I've been with choral arts for 16 seasons. One night we came to choir rehearsal, and the question was, why do you sing? And we all had sticky notes we could put up on the board about why we sing. My answer was, because it's better than screaming. And that's definitely part of why I love to sing. I love to make music with other people, and I'm with a room full of other people who love to make music with other people. I think choral music has an incredible depth to the experience because of breath. Maybe in these times we value breath more than ever. 100 other people to the same purpose of sound together is a very, very special thing. And when you work with people who bring the level of devotion that real amateurs bring, and I use that word in the kindest sense, because amateurs are doing it for the pure love of it.
My father is a musician, so I was brought up within music. So that has been an expression for us since the beginning. My parents used to say that I started singing before I started actually talking. Beyond that, and obviously due to his influence and what they saw as certain things that I could do, I was singing in tune and that type of thing. So that helped a lot with providing me from when I was a kid a field to be exposed to. So that's why when I was 6 years old, I was taken to audition with a children's choir, where I was a couple of years there. Then the school that I was helped because it had a very good choir. And in addition to that, I was exposed also to classical guitar training. So all that all together served to be an important part in my life. It also helped me pay for my university studies. I had certain tuition credit exemptions just because I was in the university choir. So that also added. That same professor that is the conductor over there is also the choir director for symphonic choirs, and therefore that just continued and rolled on into different aspects within the choral music itself. So just by that being exposed, that's what I would say, that particularly choral music was very in touch and in tune with what I like, because it was mostly what I was actually exposed to since I was a little kid.
I can't remember a time when music wasn't a part of my life. And I always loved singing, whether it was just kind of to myself with little records when I was a child, whether it was swinging out in my backyard and singing every Rodgers and Hammerstein musical song that I knew, just at the top of my lungs, whether it was in elementary school and having a good time with, beating sticks and marching around the room, whether it was dancing and the music was in my whole heart and soul. And then when I got into junior high, I really realized I just loved to sing. And we had a great music program, and I had the opportunities to be in shows and do those types of things. And by the time I got to high school, I knew that I really wanted to either be a theater or a music major. And I started out in theater, but then rapidly switched over to music. I had great vocal teachers who were just incredibly supportive all through college. Had just a great time. It was just so rewarding. The friendships that you make through music are lasting ones. I was very lucky. My mother particularly and my grandmother were incredibly supportive of what I was doing music-wise when I was a child, and then into my college years. I mean, my parents actually allowed me to major in music Like, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. Um, and I've been able to travel with music. I performed for a dinner theater when I got out of college, and it was just so fun. It was like, let's put on a show every night of the week. And from that, I was able to actually go to Germany for over 2 months and perform with a USO type of show. We entertained the troops. It was a lot of fun, particularly when you are in your early 20s and a female. It was just a lot of fun. That's all I'll say about that. Other discussions over drinks. And then when I got back to Baltimore, I was again very fortunate to study with a wonderful vocal teacher. A lot of people in choral arts may know him, Fred Petrick. He nurtured people. He mentored. He was like a surrogate dad. He held our feet to the fire, but he gave us so many opportunities. And he recommended that I go sing for the Baltimore Opera Chorus audition with Ed Polachek. Sang with them for a few years. Met Tom Hall through the Baltimore Opera Chorus. I sang with them for 12 years, and then migrated over to choral arts.
So I sing for many different reasons, I would say. First of all, to try to connect a little bit more with my inner soul, my spirit, my deep emotions. The type of work that I do normally, if I were to give myself to what I do as a whole emotionally, I would be completely drained. I work as a physician, so therefore there has to be some sort of I am involved, very involved with my patients, but sometimes if I get too involved, it might drain myself. So there has to be a certain level of that I can establish a boundary. That comes off as a payoff that I sometimes cannot get in touch with my most inner feelings. So one of the things that I get to do through art, but particularly through music, is try to connect through that and try to express what I sometimes have to drive off a little bit due to what I tend to do on a day-to-day basis.
I think singing in a group, you have the opportunity to be exposed to new repertoire that you wouldn't have selected for yourself. There are so many composers I never would have been exposed to, so many styles of music I might have never encountered, except that our collaborators, either other groups we're singing with, or our director, or someone in the ensemble, or our accompanist, has brought all of that diverse musical knowledge to the table for us to enjoy and learn about and explore together. And most people that I know who love music love many, many kinds of music. And we often don't see ourselves pigeonholed as classical musicians. We see ourselves as people who love music. And that can come in so many different forms. And to be exposed to other people's taste in it is really an expansive and empathetic thing to do.
It just gets in your fiber, anybody knows. It gets in, it's a part of your being, and you feel that your life is not complete unless you have music. And the aspect of singing is so communal. I realized when we were doing our program on the Masterworks on Monday, as wonderful it was to sing, it wasn't the same not having other people. Although you made the rehearsal really special. It was like, oh my God, Blake knows exactly what we're not doing or what we should be doing. But when you flipped over to the singing with the entire chorus of the Philharmonic, it was just marvelous. You share such a wonderful experience of creating something and sharing it with others who may not be able to sing, but they appreciate that music.
I had the opportunity to be part of a chamber choir that was mostly composed of alumni and actual active students of the university, with the same choir director that I was since I started in college. So we started going into international festivals and competitions. So I had the opportunity to represent Puerto Rico, and whatever is little known of our choral experience overseas. We were able to go to different competitions, including Grand Prix Europa competitions. But it was very, very, I think, very special to try to represent your own people, your own country and try to expose what you can do internationally, so other people get to know what actually you can do, and even expose part of your music, even though our choral music isn't as at a level or as common to have a like other musicians. For example, one of these competitions were asking for a particular piece that was by a renowned composer of your country, and you're competing against Germany, for example, and they're bringing Brahms, and we're like, okay, we don't have a Brahms like composer that we can compete against. Within the whole experience of having been singing through many years of choirs and different particular orchestra conductors that we have had the opportunity to sing. We were recently doing the Mahler, the Resurrection, the Resurrection. I had the experience to sing it with Dudamel when he was about, or he was just named conductor for Los Angeles at that moment. So we were actually singing with the Simon Bolivar, and that was an excellent experience. I also had opportunity to sing under Penderecki, and that recently passed away. And one of the most special experiences for me within my choral experience has been able to sing both the Massing B minor and the St. Matthew Passion, both Bachs under Helmut reading. So that has been a great experience just to have those through my choral experience and all my life.
One of the highest points in my life was singing the B minor Mass with the Choral Arts Society. And the time that I did it with Choral Arts was the maybe fourth or fifth time I had done it. And the first time that I had been asked to learn the second soprano part. So previous to that, I had always sung either alto, or I started out singing tenor. And I actually had the B minor Mass memorized for the tenor part. But to sing in those other parts and to be in the middle of a group of people and to have that music in my gut, really, hardwired into me, but to be able to participate in it with, in some ways, a new voice was one of the most thrilling experiences I've had. The other one is at the Messiah Sing-Along. At one time, we were able to audition to sing solos, and I was selected to sing He Shall Feed His Flock. And I got to stand on a stage with an orchestra and sing. And that was just a dream. It was just a dream. And I remember feeling so grateful and just so much love from the choir members that I had been singing with that were in the audience, and really sending me all of that support and wishing me my best. So those are two real highlights in my musical life.
There are so many different special moments. I think the first time that I sang the Verdi Requiem in college with an orchestra was really cool because it was so operatic, and that was just really out of the box. Doing Messiah for the first time, and I did that several years with a BSO and with Ed Polachek. It just, when you get to the end and are singing that Amen chorus, it's a spiritual moment, and so much of singing is a spiritual moment when you just are so filled and you know that there's a presence of God or whatever, whoever you may believe in, that it just fills you till you're like, I'm done. I could die right now and it would be kind of okay. It would be okay. Brahms' Requiem is another one where the music is so sublime, and this and other exquisite little pieces that I've sung through the years, even like the Grace Before Sleep and some of these other things that just hit you in a way. Singing with Dave Brubeck when we did those concerts was just phenomenal, because you looked at someone whose whole life had been music and the legacy that he left, and to be able to perform with him, and then the works that he composed that just run the gamut. There were some really exquisite moments with those as well. So that's really kind of my experience and why I sing. It's to be with others. It's to share that love and that feeling of just connectedness. And also with the audience, when you catch somebody's eye and they're enthralled, and you can see that you've touched them, and it really means something. So I've been very, very blessed I feel that my vocal talents are truly a gift from God, and I really love using them for church singing as well, and having those moments where I just know that I feel like the spirit, the true spirit, is inside of me and coming out. And I don't mean that to sound trite or anything, but it's very real. It's very real for me. So that's my story of singing.